the fact that you are born Muslim doesn't mean that you understand.
Exactly.
There are people that are born in Muslim homes. They grow up and go wayward that you never expect. There are days where you go out, you see your fellow girls, everybody's looking nice, wigs left and right. Like with the rise of TikTok, because people know that now it pays, they're trying to do so much to get the money. There are people who do not pray, but on social media they look like the malams. There are even some of our Muslim men that when you're like, when you guys are together, you know, wanting to get, they don't like you covering up. Karina go, oh Kike Karen, you are very beautiful. Yenda Baba Keina, he wants to be able to pray for me. I lost it. Nage Baba Bananga Bo.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. It's another exciting episode of Modesty. In a world where voices often go unheard, one platform is breaking the silence, and that platform is Modesty. Today, our topic is an exciting one, and I can't wait for us to dive into it. Does social media pressure make Islam feel like a performance rather than a sincere practice? I'll be doing this with my PA. You're welcome, Farida.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. What are your expectations for today's episode?
I mean, to be able to reach lots of people and to finally discuss this topic, because I think it's high time.
Yeah, it's
high time.
Yeah, that's true. So let's get right into it. Do you think social media pressure makes Islam feel like a performance rather than a sincere practice?
I think for now, I'd say yes. I mean, there's the good parts and the bad parts, but I'll say yes, because it's not easy. To be a very good Muslim is not easy. It takes a lot. It takes prayers is not easy. Praying 5 times a day is not easy. But then you must. Okay. Now there are things or instances that may hinder you from praying on time. There are people who do not pray, but on social media, they look like the malams.
Right.
They look like malamas. Do you understand? When you see them, it will never occur to you that, oh, one nigga be salah. Right?
Yeah,
they look very perfect because they want to portray this whole thing of I'm a good Muslim. But when you sit with them, as of for the last the person won't do. In your presence, you won't see the person pray. But then, of course, I have to look like a Muslim. People tie their hair and not pray.
Yeah.
People speak Hausa, but then are not Muslims. Some people just live with us, but then, you know, it's Sunani.
Also, and I feel like sometimes you'd see that someone has, I mean, people just appear on these social media like that is what they do behind closed doors. But then the person is sitting down, oh, I don't have any content, let me do some prayer content. They set up the place, their cute prayer mats with their names, like, I mean, those, how should I put this? Customized prayer mats. Right. You see the backgrounds of your prayer room and their books arranged there. You're thinking, oh, wow, like, I like your setup. I like your background, all these books. Where did you buy this book from? Right. But it could be that this person has never opened this book.
That's true.
To know the content of this book. The person just they do it for the camera. Not like, oh, I like you, I want to be like you, I want to be like this. I tap into your blessings. You're tapping into things that you don't even know. Instead of praying that, oh, maybe may Allah make me better than this person, because there are times that you post yourself all covered and all of that, and someone is like, oh, I want to be like you when I grow up. And mostly I just told them that pray you become a better person, because you don't know the struggles
I go through, right?
You don't know the struggles that I go through. And then for me, I think platforms like TikTok, Instagram, they have made Islam look more appealing and easy. Let me say easy. But also I feel like,
let me just say something quickly, right? With the rise of TikTok, I feel like because people know that now it pays, they're trying to do so much to get the money. Do you understand? And if you post something about Islam, there are lots of people that want to know, like, what's going on.
Exactly.
I'm seeing you pray. I'm seeing that your room is nice. I'm seeing, the books. It's nice to know that your fellow Muslim, like, has finished the Quran, has read so many hadiths, knows so many things. You're like, oh, I want to be like this person. I want to be able to hang out with this person. But at the end of the day, are you staying true to yourself?
That's true.
Do you understand?
Doing it because of them? And I feel like people that if I would look up to be honest, for me personally, I'll look up to a revert.
Okay.
Because it's different knowing that someone was born into the faith. This person knows that I grew up in a Muslim home. I pray 5 times a day. I fast. That is what I was born into. I think it's different from someone who has really taken their time to know what they are going into, to know the reason why they chose this path. Let me cite an example. You're going into the university. Your parents tell you, oh, I want you to be a doctor, so you have to go and study medicine. You are doing it because your parents want you to do it, or you're doing it to please them. I think it's different from you, Farida, telling me that, oh, Usama, I think when I go to the university, maybe I want to study psychology. I know Farida has passion for this thing. I know why Farida is doing this. If I'm going to look up to anyone, I'm going to look up to Farida. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And these reverts, they actually take their time. They take years to digest and know whatever they are going into. They know this is the reason why I'm doing this. They have taken their time to study other religions, and they know why they chose this particular one.
Let me tell you for a fact, the fact that you are born Muslim doesn't mean that you understand.
Exactly. That's
the
just
fact
all
that you are born Muslim. There are people that are born in Muslim homes. They grow up and go wayward that you never expect.
Yeah.
There are people that pray 5 times a day, but don't even understand the things they are saying.
That's true.
There are people that fast, but do not even have intentions. When I say intentions, like great intention, you wake up, you're like, oh, I'm fasting on Monday and Thursday because, opening and closing of days and that's the blessings will be taken and all those things. You need to take your time and understand the religion.
Exactly.
Yeah. It shouldn't just be like, oh, my mother is a Muslim, my father is a Muslim. I grew up in a Muslim home, so I must be a Muslim. Yes, very grateful, alhamdulillah. But then again, you need to take your time and understand the religion, the practice, everything you're doing. Come on, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like you said, a revert has been in other religions, maybe 1 or 2. Then now they're like, oh, I want to be a Muslim. And sometimes it's even because of the way we dress.
Exactly.
They'll see you, they're like, oh.
There are even Christians who scarf their hair. So sometimes if you're not careful, you might not be able to tell.
Exactly.
Because even at the workplace, you have Muslims that don't even scarf. So they're like, oh, hey, so you every day are scarfing your hair. Can't you show your hair? So do you braid your hair? Yes, I do braid my hair.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm still covering my hair. And then there are Muslims who don't do it. So they're like, oh, but there's this person, that is the person. That's not me.
And that's one thing that we actually need to talk about. I've had my fair share of not covering up. May God have mercy on us all. But then you get to a point where you understand the religion to a point that I am not covering up for you people.
Exactly.
I am covering up because my God wants me to cover up.
That's true.
And when I cover up, I feel different.
Yeah.
I am respected. I am considered.
Good. And it gets
people treat you differently.
It gets the time for you that you feel like you can't even step out of your door without
my
it.
darling.
Like you can't even do it. You feel like, because sometimes you're at the hotel, you're like, oh, someone is just calling me out there, like, why
let me
just go?
Right.
But it doesn't feel right like at all.
And to the people that do not cover up and all these things, we are not saying that we are perfect or anything, but then when you get to that level of when your iman gets to that level, no one will tell you to do it.
It's true. So true.
Do you understand? When you get there and the love of Allah is so much it's deepened in your heart, like you said, there's no way you'd even want to go out without covering your hair.
But do you know there are people who started like that and now they're not even doing it at all? I've known people first on Instagram. I think we used to just, how many hijabis? There was a lot of hijabis, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is so
sometimes
cool.
It's the influence of people who are not doing it.
If people started, they got the numbers. All of a sudden, we don't see them online again for like months, like maybe a couple of months to a year. They come all of a sudden, they are not covering again. They started by showing parts of it, start with the edges, start with some parts of the hair, and now they don't wear it at all. Questions will come because these are the same people that people used to ask, oh, do you think there'll come a time where you not wear your hijab again? They're like, no, I don't think I would ever do that. There were Christians, there were other trying Muslims that were looking up to you. Now you don't post for a year, you come back and you tell us you were going through a hard time. Meanwhile, when you used to wear your hijab, you were not even showing your neck. So what shows you were struggling?
You see, one thing about Islam is Allah will test you with so many things.
People think test only comes, like Allah will test you with like just hard times.
Right.
He'll test you with poverty.
Right.
Wealth in itself is a test.
Right.
Because you're going to be asked, what did you use your wealth for? What did you use your knowledge in the Quran for? What did you do it for? Because there are sermons that you listen to and you realize that some of the first people that are going to be judged are
The
imams.
The malam.
Allah is going to ask you, what did you use the knowledge I gave you for? Oh, I preached to people. He's going to tell you a line. You did it so that people could praise you.
Right.
I don't know if you understand what
it.
I'm saying. So just like I was telling you before this session about the guy, the blind guy,
right.
he was asked, like just a small boy, he was asked, do you ever pray to Allah to restore your eyesight back? He said no. And the man was like, why? He said so that at least in front of Allah he can Allah can have mercy on him, that when you were in the dunya, like you had your fair share of your tests. So Allah's rahmah can be on him on the day of judgment. So I think that sometimes wait, with the hijab.
No. Let me actually say this, right? You see, instead of people to want to do better, they'll tell you that, oh, but even if I don't cover up,
and you wear a wig and you tell
even
me
if I don't cover up,
so we're not seeing your hair.
I am the only person that knows my relationship with Allah.
But when you die, the judgments people pass, it carries like a heavy like part of your judgment.
It does.
See, that's why they tell us that even when you're sinning, let it be between you and your God, so that at least if he cover ups for you in this dunya on the day of judgment, he may have mercy on you and he would cover up for you on that day too. You don't go out fornicating, drinking, and you come and post for us to see all of it. Or lately what people do, maybe excuse me to say, what do they even say, best sex positions,
right?
And you see Muslim girls also doing it. They're like, oh, this this is first, this is second. I'm like, what the hell? And you have Muslim girls and guys in the comment section, right, also say, oh, you're lying, this is best. I'm like,
kunya ya kari. I don't know how best to say it, but like kunya, you
like
see, first there are certain things,
nothing.
Right? There are certain things that you can't even do in public as a Muslim,
but
be boy or girl. But now it's like everybody's doing it. So at the end of the day, oh, I'm the only person that knows my relationship with God, so you can't judge me. You can't. Nobody's judging you.
Yeah.
But it is just right or fair that when I see you going the other way, I'm able to say, oh, I think this is not best.
It's not best.
You should look into it, try your best. But during fasting time,
do you know fasting time, people actually think we are hypocrites. They're like,
oh, when you went,
at work,
right?
In school, you see the fasting time, that's where we the Muslim girls dress like we're supposed to do. And even sometimes people think we are so pretend because they're like, hey, where we abaya now or shana, like
right? And I had somebody reach out to me on Snapchat one time, and she told me that, like I said, I've had a fair part of my life where I wasn't really covering up. And then she's like, I started covering up, but I realized now men don't approach me like they used to. Yes, that's what she told me. Like, people don't really reach out to me. Like, I feel like I'm not beautiful enough. I feel like, all those things. So I said, see, you are not doing it for them. That's one thing you need to understand. That's the first step to anything. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. You're doing it to build your relationship with Allah. And another thing you need to understand is anything somebody says about you, it's not your business.
See, sometimes you think men are not approaching you because you're not covering again, but they're actually respecting you. You don't have, see, sometimes they want to, but they're like,
So if I go
this is
cry,
a Muslim girl, like Charlie, education, she's dressing modestly. So sometimes it's not like they are not approaching you because you're they feel like you're not exposing your body again. That's respect. Like that's respect. Men like nice things too. If you post, they'll watch. If you post, they'll watch. And I've heard men say, "Oh, we there will watch, but we will not marry you."
Not marry, right?
So, girl, I mean, do what you're supposed to do. And are you doing it because of them? You're doing it because of you and your Allah. So I don't think what they say has to bother you. Even if they're actually not approaching you because you're covering your hair, that's none of their business. I mean, if you die today, these same people are the ones come to say, "Hey, this girl, so she was a Muslim." Like, do you get? I've seen on TikTok that people have died and they're going to bury them, and they're like, "Hey, I never knew she was a Muslim." You actually go
right,
to their page,
right.
and nothing shows that they're Muslims. You have people dying there. Family comes to tell you, "Oh, repost their videos, or we're reading Quran, repost so that they will get ladder." But you also have people's parents come to tell you that, "Oh, report their account so that it will be deleted." I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so I mean, it's all about the legacy you leave behind. It's either it's good or bad. It's all in your hands. That's why they tell you, we are not saying sin, but even if you do it, let it be between you and your God. I don't think you have to come out to come and expose like your sins or whatever it is. I mean, during the Prophet's time, I've heard there are people who commit zina and they actually come to report themselves to the Prophet because they want to be punished in this dunya, so that at least, because there was a woman who got pregnant out of zina, she gave birth and she came to him. He was like, go and, I think he said, breastfeed the child so he or she gets to a particular 2 years. He was thinking she will not come again. She came
After
back.
2 years,
yeah, she came back, and then she was actually punished. She was punished for it. So and then I think people were trying to hoot at her or what, and he was like, if this lady should ask for forgiveness of sins for everyone in this dunya, Allah will consider it. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So I mean, it's really about you, and then what you actually want to do with yourself.
See, one thing I can say for sure is, don't see somebody's life on social media, especially we Muslims, and want to be like the person so bad. People have struggles they're going through.
Daily,
like I said early on, covering up is not easy. Covering up is not for the weak. You need to be determined to always want to cover up. Do you understand? There are days where you go out, you see your fellow girls, everybody's looking nice, wigs left and right, like, but then you look at it like, I am different from you. You do not worship what I worship. Even if you do, there are levels to it. Do you understand? I'll keep mine, so you keep yours. And anytime somebody tries to make you feel like, oh, you don't look like you need to be here because of the way you're dressed or anything, because you're covered up, you don't deserve to be here, or they'll start treating you differently. If you feel like that's not your place to be, leave.
Exactly, just leave.
If you feel like anybody is making you uncomfortable because you're dressing up, leave that person alone, leave the environment, leave the situation, just leave. There are even some of our Muslim men that when you guys are together, wanting to they don't like you covering up. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Our own Muslim men, they don't like you. They'll enjoy with you, chill with you, go to the club with you and all of that. When you start covering up, it's like, Kima don't be a bude bunny. Do you understand?
Like you've done all these things,
right?
And they will think you're trying to pretend or something.
Exactly.
But I'm trying to just work on myself.
And it's okay for you to go through a time in your life when you're not doing your best. That's you're not covering up, you're not, showing, you're not being, do you understand? So anytime your iman is down, keep praying. Even if you find that in times you can't pray, do zikr.
That's all, yeah.
Just keep doing zikr. Wherever the iman is, it would rise, it would come. You start praying, you start seeing the certain mercies of God, or like some of his grace that
exactly
you will just start.
Even if it's one thing that you pray for, maybe you pray that, oh, maybe this year I want to take my Quran lesson serious, I want to be able to do tahajjud, I want to be able to give charity, and even within the year you're just able to improve in one. That alone is great.
And see, Allah will challenge you during this process, especially when you want to do better. Let me give you this story. I decided to start learning the Quran again. I got myself a malam, young malam. Now this man, for some reasons, we are just two, like so it's just two of us in the class. And then I'm like,
you and another person.
Yes, another lady, and then the malam. So one time he's like, he wants to do ruqya for us. Come, like based on nothing, he wants to do ruqya for us, and we said okay. And we said, okay. So the following Saturday we're supposed to come from Makaranta. He said, we'll use that Saturday to do it. And we said okay, but we are supposed to come in 10. So unazo she the following week she matter. I mean, I don't like being in like secluded areas with like namijikade and all those things. So I said, kidiki sani, but need the kim with me muje. Malay I cater. Then it was just me and him. When I mean Ukraine as on naga come on toba wanga alaba. So I was just sitting down. No naga come on. Abuya.
I can't rukia.
Abuya, I'm telling you. And I said, okay, no problem. This man, they carry naga. Kike Karen, you are very beautiful. Yenda baba keyin. He wants to be able to pray for me. I'm like, I lost it. Like, not here. Now, somebody would lose it because I want to learn the Quran. Why would God make this? Okay,
but yeah, what can you do?
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, but then you have to sit back and realize that. Find
a new person.
Do you get it? So when you're doing something, you feel like, this thing I want to do it, Allah will test you. And that test that would come, maybe it will stop you from doing whatever you want to do, but just don't give up. See it as a test from God. Move on to the next one. Inshallah, whatever you're looking for, He would give you, He would grant you, because you've been able to hold yourself and do what is expected of you. Don't think that removing your veil or not wearing it is going to get people to. Sometimes your people want to be able to relate to you. Sometimes people want to learn from you. People want to pick certain ideas from you. So it is good for you to be true to yourself. If you're not covering up, cover up. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do it.
Right now we have addressed the issue of the Islamic faith being more of performance than the sincere practice right? itself. What do you think content creators should do more? Do you think we should have more content creators? Because I think day in, day out, there are like more Muslim content creators coming out. But are these content creators actually doing what they are portraying before the camera, behind closed doors, that people actually see? Because I mean, sometimes in people's comment sections, you realize that that's when you realize that these people don't actually do what they portray. Because you have people say, hey, this girl, I know her, like she doesn't really do this, she doesn't do that. So for me, I think that yeah, fine. I mean, it's good to educate people about the Islamic faith. But I also think that behind closed doors, behind the cameras, when the cameras are not in our faces, we should be able to do more and even better. Because I mean, how many minutes are you going to, is the camera going to be before you? Do you get what I'm saying? They should be able to do better when the cameras are not before them, so that at least people who are watching can be able to say, oh, this girl, she doesn't only do it for the camera. This guy, he doesn't only do it for the camera. I know her. I live in her hood. I know what she does. She always covers. It's not just for social media. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying.
So I would like to say that you can't know everybody entirely.
Right. That's
people
true.
have battles they are facing like off cameras. But if you decide to be a Muslim content creator, just make sure that you're doing it the right way. Don't feel bad putting Islam out there.
Okay.
Don't feel bad dressing up. In fact, you look better dressing up. In fact, you look better being a better Muslim. When the cameras are off your face, you are the only person that knows your relationship with Allah.
That's true.
Recently I saw this whole controversy of Khadija Khalid
With her hijab thing.
with her hijab thing. I think they went to the Jamestown something, and then she came online to say, see, I am also a trying Muslim. I don't think it's fair for you to come online and judge me just because you've seen a picture of me like this. Sometimes it's good to be able to vouch for your Muslim brothers and sisters. I have seen that this person prays. So I can say for a fact that this person prays. If not for anything, okay, yes, she's Muslim. Do you understand? So everything you do on social media is either going to take or add. People are constantly learning from what's like we do on social media day in and day out. So just make sure that whatever you're doing at the end of the day portrays Islam in a good way.
Good way, exactly.
In a good way.
So I think sometimes we are not each other's keepers at all.
The day you decide to be your brother's keeper, they'll tell you you don't know my relationship with Allah.
Exactly. But also some of these people that start as hijabis and stop along the line, you have because they don't really wear the veil well or something, you have people say it's either you're wearing it or you're removing it. Like, choose one, right? Like you said, everyone has battles they face,
right?
Real life issues. So you don't come to tell someone that, oh, it's either you're doing it or you're living it. Like Khadija said, she's trying.
Right.
So maybe when she was wearing like the big hijab, maybe she had just finished praying and she decided to just create content.
Yeah.
And for me, I know Khadija. Khadija is trying. Like she's really trying. Because she has said it that, oh, there are times that, I have Christian friends. I see they have braided.
Exactly what I said. Right.
But I know I'm not doing it for their sake. I'm doing it for Allah's sake. Sometimes you see that, oh, people were covering, like they were actually really covering. They were not showing their neck, but they were not, like they were not. They were not even showing their neck. These same people come to tell us that they were struggling, so now they don't even wear it at all.
See, sometimes it's a test from God, and you need people, you need your friends, you need people that would be honest to you about certain things.
I'm not saying that how someone portrays themselves can tell you whether they are struggling or they are not struggling. But for you to like, I know the home you're coming from. That is how you used to dress. Like, since I've known you. And just within a year, you come to tell me you were struggling. Like, someone that wasn't showing the neck. Sometimes, I'm not saying you will be able to tell a struggling Muslim from someone who's not struggling. But if I wear a niqab, and then you, Farida, maybe you're showing part of your hair, you're covering it all right. Someone may see and say, oh, this girl, maybe she's really struggling. But me, I'm wearing niqab. The Muslims need to see that you don't have any excuse. Like, what's your excuse? How can you come and tell another Muslim brother or sister that you were struggling? And niqabi, like, how? I don't know if you understand.
We see a lot on social media. We see how people who do not do it are moving forward. You see the kind of things. Let me use Nyash as an example, right? Now you see that the girls with the big Nyash, they're the ones that are securing so many things.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you understand? So somebody will say, oh, okay, let me go and do BBL. Now there are liquid BBL. You go and pay 3,500 and do it. Your hip dips and everything. Instant, just injections. Oh, do you understand? When you get it, you get the attention, you get everything, the validation, everything you're seeking for, you get. But then remember your relationship with God.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're a niqabi, God will test you, God might just bring somebody into your life that will show you like, hey, okay, if you do this, you get this. If this happens, you get this. Then in your mind and heart, it's so heavy. You start losing certain things. You start losing your connection to God. Maybe you realize that they don't even like working with Muslims again.
Yeah.
For some reasons, they'll change friends because they know you'll be honest with them. You tell them the truth. Do you get it? So if you realize that things are not going the way it's supposed to, have people that will be honest with you, not the ones that will tell you, oh, you're the only person that knows with me. That's in the you get. My friend will tell you, see, there's a time that when she's going to pray, I'm seated down, I'm like, oh, don't worry, they're going to do your come. She's saying, hey, Abuya, you can balance at any time. Oh.
Yeah.
And like when I'm going to pray, you're supposed to have that thing in you that would force you to say,
Push
oh,
you.
let's go and pray.
Yeah. Or even get to the time that when you're not you're
Praying
even in
in,
your
like-
period. Sometimes you forget.
Right?
And then one time it happened, like I was genuinely so happy. Someone may not understand why, like why you happy. You just forgot. But that's not it for me.
Right.
Maybe you know where you started from. You know where you came from. You know the struggles you have been through, and you've gotten to the point that you're not even supposed to pray, and then you go and perform ablution on a prayer mat.
Yeah.
And then you remember that, hey, I'm not praying.
The man has reached Dagoma princess. Dagoma princess. Oh, it's nice. I mean, it's very beautiful.
So beautiful.
And may Allah increase all of us with a very high iman. When you have you've not prayed and your body's doing you something
right. Even at work, when it's time for Zohar and Asr, and then maybe Zohar, you say, oh, I'm going to pray, and Asr say, hey, why, how many times
do you pray in a day? Right.
Like, I just wait. It's just twice I pray at
exactly.
work. Like, do you understand me? So for me, I think, it's all about you. Fine, it's about your relationship with Allah, what you do with Allah. But we're not saying when you come out, do like the opposite and let people talk. Sometimes they say, don't judge, but you are the same people that put these things out there.
Exactly.
You know how the Muslim community is, like they will talk, they don't know how to come and say, let me go and say this thing behind closed doors. Wherever they see it, that's why they're going to talk about the thing. You know the kind of community you belong to. So certain times you don't do things for the Christian community to come and think that we are being too hard.
And I actually feel like sometimes the Muslim community is the cause of certain things.
Exactly.
When you see your brother or sister, going wayward or falling backwards, it's okay for you to call the person.
But how you
talk to the person. There was this small girl in Nima that did this hotel thing. I don't know if you heard about it. There's no hotel no ma. Home Life Hotel. The people that know. Her brother. But Amber has a blog.
Oh, one that touching something, some condensed.
Condensed. Thank you. Amber has a blog. Instead of you to actually talk to her, let her understand.
Right.
Go ahead.
I would have preferred that they could have punished her by maybe letting her, maybe just, she did it on camera, let her come out to apologize. People will know that maybe that's not how she was trained at home. Fine, maybe... I don't really know how to put it, because there are people looking up to Muslims. They want to be like Muslims. They know sometimes it's not easy, because see, these rivets are really trying. They're really trying, because they see what's they see the kind of they see how the Muslim community sometimes are being criticized by their own Muslim friends. But these people, it's like they know what they're up to. They know what their focus is on. So I feel like this small girl, I don't really know how to put it, but
the level of punishment, and that's one thing. In your nagang back is hijab, no zona come, hey, you're Muslim, you don't cover up, it would push you away. You feel like then I don't even have to walk with you. But if I come to you, I explain to you, like, okay, you don't even have to wear it. Maybe sometimes if you feel like I'll come around, we'll talk, I'll help you with certain things. Yan beden yi the kaina would want, like, you would feel like wanting to do the same thing. But you don't see people going left, and then you're always like trying to drag them. You're always criticizing, you're always putting them down. Obviously they wouldn't even want to be around you,
right? And I guess that a punishment, maybe that was the brother or the family's way.
Now do you know what she did? This girl made a new video, made a song. Now she's telling us that, see, whether I like it or not.
So if you had called her, maybe asked them what the problem was, because maybe that's not the training she had from home.
Right.
It could be some particular maybe squad or something that she's flowing, because you only punished her. What about the girl that was recording her?
Right.
Do you get it? So I feel like maybe fine. Sometimes the Muslim parents don't really have this kind of relationship with their kids where they sit you down. Are you okay? Like, are you going through this? Are you going through that? Like that kind of thing. I don't know if you
I
get
think
what
sometimes our parents are strict for no reason.
Yeah,
absolutely no reason. It's nice to have like a very cordial relationship with your children. You have a cordial relationship with them, but then they respect you as their parents.
Their parents, yeah.
Do you understand? I can come to my daddy and talk about some of the, normal things in life, like, oh, the nafta, that kind of thing. Do you understand? And then he'll tell you, oh, if this person does this, if something like this happens, do you understand? So you don't pick certain core values from people you don't know, from
exactly.
strangers. Who are you getting it from? Your mother, your father? Do you understand? But then they, for some reason, when your father is coming, you are running away.
Right.
But when as well,
But
hey, then as well, everybody's running.
That's that.
But I'm like, calm down. Like, the things you're not teaching me, someone else will. And at the end of the day, if it's bad, it affects all of us. It affects the family name.
So what they're teaching me is good or
do you
bad.
understand?
Exactly. So I think we've had enough for today.
Right.
And I also I feel like the social media can be for good, it can be for bad. But I think just like we learn from people, you can be with someone, you don't have to learn you don't have to be like the way they are. You pick certain personalities from different people.
Yeah.
So pick the good from the social media. Do not let it replace the commandments that Allah has given. Maybe do this, do that. Don't think that, I mean, there are people I know who say, oh, I've learned a lot from social media. People pass comments like that, and it's totally fine, but there's still more you need to learn. You can't learn everything from social media. Pick from people. And now, like, there are kids who there are some like small kids who are trying, like small girls, like they're really trying. You pick a lot from these people because at least you know that, oh, this child, they really do not have knowledge about like real life, like what's going on. That's how they are being trained from home. So I genuinely think that we should pick the good from social media. We should not let it replace the sincerity of the faith, right? So I think that's it for today, and I'm so glad we had this conversation. And I hope you all send in your suggestion. We are open to learn more from you people. We don't entirely know everything. We are also giving you what we know. We are also trying our best. Thank you so much. Usama Napari Mabrik is my name, and I am your host.